Are you ready to step into the grid?
Activating program Tron Areola. What? Oh yeah, baby! I joined the grid, and we got dance moves like this, yo. Don't you wanna join the grid with me? Oh yeah, we got everything, baby. You wanna play Monopoly? I'll let you roll the dice first. I lost 200 pounds instantly. Look how tiny I look. Tron Ares is the third installment in the Tron franchise. This time we are following the company Encom on a new path led by Julian Dillinger, who's decided he wants to attempt to militarize the resources of Tron. This gives birth to an advanced AI security program known as Ares, played by Jared Leto. Ares will do everything told by him until he starts becoming self-aware. And that's all. Put in a second, any spoilers, you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review. Peep the Tron suit and the red light. I know what some of y'all are gonna say. Krista, you should do the whole set red. You know how much of a pain in the butt that is to reset all these lights? Alright, give me a second.
Much later.
There. Tron Areola did the best he could. But now I remember why I don't do red. It looks like orange on camera. Alright, but enough shenanigans. Let's talk about Tron Ares. So, I, like a lot of people, really enjoy the Tron franchise. And also, like a lot of people, at least around my age, for a long time I thought Tron Legacy was the first ever Tron movie. People to this day are still surprised when you call Tron Ares Tron 3 and refer to Tron Legacy as Tron 2. But no matter what the case is, I think we all still know the tragedy of Tron Legacy. What an visually amazing, ahead of its time looking movie that was so awesome to witness when you were young, and I think still holds up to this day. In fact, I rewatched it right before watching Tron Ares, and I still really enjoy that movie, and it shocks me that it has a pretty low critic score. Even more shocking that at the time it just wasn't financially successful enough to warrant whatever new story path they had planned, because I can only imagine what the Tron movies would look like if they did end up making follow-ups to that last film. Whatever the case, we are putting in a situation where Disney is trying once again to start up the franchise, keeping in continuity with everything that's happened before, this time feeling way more relevant than it ever has because of the rise of AI, even more so with the main character of this movie being an AI program that wants to become a real boy. I was a little conflicted with how to feel about it, because for one, love the color palette they had chosen. You guys know red is my favorite color, so when I started seeing all the trailers, the light bikes, the outfits, I was just bursting in ways you wouldn't understand. The red light beams were beaming high, but then the plot they were going with involves them being mainly out of the Tron universe for a lot of it, and I'm like, oh, the whole fun of that world is being on the grid in that universe. Why would I want to spend so much time out of it? And then Jared Leto was cast as the main character. And look, I don't have a big hate boner for Jared Leto like a lot of people, but I also am not like the biggest Jared Leto fan. I think he is a good actor in certain things. And in this instance, I was just wishing maybe they went with somebody else for the lead role. But whatever, right? It's like beggars can't be choosers. You want a Tron movie or not, this is what you're given. I was excited on my drive on my little light bike, headed off to go see this movie. I checked it out, and it is a mixed bag. It is unfortunately a lot of good and a lot of bad. Let's start off with the good of the film. Okay, so like with most Tron movies, it is its visuals. This movie is still strikingly and visually stunning. Absolutely gorgeous to look at. There's a lot of conversation sometimes that maybe we've peaked with visual effects in like 2014, and now it's just trying to maintain some of the effects that we used to see. And you would think that'd be easy with our modern age and modern tech, but we've seen a lot of modern movies that look pretty crappy, and I think Tron Ares looks awesome. Really loved all the light bikes, the action sequences, the new weapons and environments they create for this specific movie, and the time we do get to spend on the grid. Like, oh, dude, I would just love to be in there for 5 minutes. That entire red world looks so awesome, and I got to see it in IMAX, so all of it really looks so cool. And again, that's always going to be, I think, the highlight of a Tron movie is the visuals, and I do think they nail that. I was also a really big fan of the music composed in here. It was done by Chris's PP Nails. Oh, I'm sorry, 9 Inch Nails. Same thing. We knew the Daft Punk soundtrack from Tron Legacy was going to be hard to beat, but 9 Inch Nails put everything into it. It's a real bumping techno crazy score, and it really does help elevate a lot of the sequences, put you on the edge of your seat, and complement the grid in a really nice way. I also think the die-hard fans or the longtime fans of Tron who have kept up with the franchise even since the first movie are going to be happy with the attempts of lore building and new ideas that they're throwing in here. Although I'm going to bring up my issues with the story later, I do think there was a lot of interesting ideas, and I thought that they were able to bring in things from the first movie, the second movie, while building onto something new. I think they even do it so well that by the end of the movie, when they start trying to wrap the story up, which they do wrap up the central story they have here, they do start to tease where the universe could go, what might be next, and all the issues I had with the movie, those teases and setups to where things could go, I did find it very exciting, and I was like, okay, problems are not with this movie. I still want to see what they do next. And again, that goes a lot to impart of what they've been able to build so far with the story of this movie. And really, I think those are just the three biggest things here is awesome visuals, cool action sequences, bump and score, and some interesting ideas to keep the world of Tron going. Everything else, I think, just falls down to the script being messy and really you not connecting so much with the characters. That was, I think, the biggest downfall of this movie is I just could not find myself liking or getting emotionally connected to anybody I was following. Yes, Jared Leto's Ares is kind of the main character, but a lot of the movie also falls on a human protagonist played by Greta Lee, who is named Eve Kim. Eve Kim currently has like a power struggle going on with the company Encom, but she's in pursuit of this specific thing that could help advance society, help out the world, while the other half of the company, run by Julian Dillinger, more wants that thing for military purposes, weapons, and all this evil stuff. And I would say the movie is 50-50 between Jared Leto and Greta Lee. These are the two main leads set on a path. I just found it really hard to want to care about their backstories, their goals, and follow them through. It really made a lot of the movie feel a little hollow to me. Specifically when it came to Jared Leto, the way they portray Ares, I thought was such a cliche and surface level way to go about an AI. Like, AI is in itself such a cliche thing to tackle in a movie, but man, the way Ares was being done in this film was really taking us back to the 80s of just a stoic, robotic, monotone, one-line kind of person. And although you see Ares' personality start to grow throughout the movie as he's becoming more self-aware, not wanting to follow orders as much, not be this soldier, and start being his own person, I just never fully bought into Ares or cared too much about him, and honestly, I found just Jared Leto almost on autopilot or very wooden. The best way I can describe him is a less charismatic version of Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 from Terminator 2, where in that movie you start to see John Connor bond with the T-800 and give it a bit of a personality, start smiling, doing things. You as an audience member can connect to it, feel for it, to where by the end of that movie when he's given a thumbs up in lava, you feel something, and I just, with Jared Leto, I could not get to those moments. And I don't even know if the solution would be put another actor in that role. And it's like, oh, it's all Jared Leto's fault. He played it all wrong. It's what the script told him to do. And on the Greta Lee side, like, she was fine. She wasn't anything bad, but it almost felt like a lot of retreaded stuff of like Sam Flynn's story from Tron Legacy. A character with a tragic family past is trying to go for greatness, is even good at riding motorcycles. Part of me wonders if that role was intended for the Sam Flynn actor and maybe they just couldn't get that to work, so they created a new character but with a lot of the traits of Sam Flynn. Evan Peters, I think, was like the closest thing of a character I was just somewhat behind, but even then he's really written as this one-note bratty spoiled rich kid who thinks he knows best for the company and is willing to sabotage everything just to see his way through. There are glimpses of really cool things they do with him, but again, it just never gets to that full point. Same thing goes with like the secondary antagonist of this movie, Athena, this second program alongside Tron Ares, who once Ares starts becoming defiant and becoming his own person, Athena has to take over and stop Ares with what he's doing. I also just didn't find her that much of a threat. Well, I also think that we do get enough sequences within the grid of some cool things happening. One specific one where Ares has to try and get out of it, and all these programs are just chasing him down, throwing everything they got. Like, that was a pretty cool sequence. It is such a big contrast then when we're in the real world. We start seeing the light bikes and the big ships. It's cool for a few minutes, but I just don't think it's as cool as when it's within the grid. Another negative that is going to be more of a nitpick, and I totally understand this, but I want to know if anybody else felt that way. As awesome as the score is and the music that is done by Nine Inch Nails, I do feel there is a point where they just like really overuse it and hammer it in, where it feels like 80% of the movie is just the techno score blasting through the screen, that it starts to become almost comedic. Like almost every transition from scene to scene will open with just to give you an idea of this, it'll be like characters going, "We have to go to Walmart." Cut to them in Walmart. "All right, let's go to the checkout counter. Oh, I forgot my wallet in the car." And it just becomes so funny, over repetitive, and even to a point, the music is just blasting while characters are trying to talk. And in that IMAX Dolby surround sound, like, can you turn the techno music down? I can't exactly hear you. Still though, music is awesome, but it got to a point where I was like, guys, we get it. The music is great though. How about the story? So all of this is to say, it's a bit of a mixed bag for me, and I wonder if this is a bit of history almost repeating itself, where I think maybe some of the criticisms I'm bringing up is a lot of the criticisms Tron Legacy got at that time. Again, I mentioned how shocked I was that that movie has a low score, that it wasn't profoundly liked by a lot of people, when I think it really does hold up, but a lot of people didn't connect to Sam Flynn. They thought the story was just not that interesting, appealing, or that they didn't have a good direction for it, when are a lot of the same criticisms I'm having now for Ares. And maybe time will have the same effect on this movie, where people will look back on Ares and go, I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. Soundtrack was great. Visuals were awesome, man. The critics don't understand anything. And it's like, oh, I've become what I've hated the most with the Tron Legacy. But I really do just feel strongly that it's like, Sam Flynn is an awesome character. I wish we could have progressed that story or kept things going somehow. And I just don't see many people going to watch this and feeling like Ares or even Greta Lee's character is a great Sam Flynn replacement or a good successor of a protagonist to keep the story going. But all in all, my issues with it, I think, are pretty harmless. I think you'll still enjoy it for the visual aspect, the entertaining, and I do think the final battle does have kind of its cool aura moments. It just comes down again to me not connecting with really any character in this movie, so a lot of that felt weightless to me. So when it comes to Tron Ares, I'm gonna give action 4 stars. I really did still enjoy all the action set pieces and the visuals involved. I liked some of the new gadgets they create. There's even a couple of hand-to-hand combat sequences I found fun. Comedy in the movie, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I think the comedy is probably one of the weakest aspects of this movie. A lot of recycled Disney-like humor that we see in a lot of their family-friendly movies, but luckily it's nothing distracting or too eye-rolling. Drama in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think they had some cool ideas and even interesting callbacks to certain things. I think I was most interested where they left things off and the possibilities of the future, but I was honestly very disappointed with their AI story, and I felt like it was such surface level cliche ideas. I would have liked a more advanced, deeper look or to AI into the Tron world, but it really wasn't that. And suspense the movie, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars because I'm not really connected to much of the characters. I don't feel much for their journey or what's going on. I'm just more appreciating the awesome visual and soundtrack going on. When it comes to the 3 C's, I think it will be a casual who most appreciates this one. While I do recommend you familiarize yourself with the last 2 movies, it leans a lot on things from the first movie, not so much from the second movie. Casuals, I think, will have the most fun with it, as opposed to cinephiles or critics who will be kind of honing in on the messy script and kind of lacking character developments. So when it comes to Tron Ares, I really am teeter-tottering between recommending wait to stream it at home or see it in theaters. I think if you're a fan, you're going to end up liking this either way. I was hoping for a little bit more with it. I think really is going to be those visuals that carry it, where I think just by the slightest hair, I recommend you experience it in a theater, because those are some pretty cool visuals. Again, that's just my opinion on Tron Ares, guys. I'm going to be very curious to hear from you. I know there's some people so protective of this franchise and love it a lot. And again, I think those are going to be the people that were going to love this movie no matter what. It's not like an offensively bad movie or just right out terrible, but I do think it was just kind of okay. And I don't think the world of Tron should just really feel okay, you know, like that's an exciting world. Anyways, guys, that is just my opinion on the movie. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Tron Areola. Take care.